show number 26.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah, so
Definitely.
things are going pretty good. So let's get right into the mix. I think one of the topics we need to touch base on. I think it's kind of captivating, certainly captivating the Northeast is the Little League World Series.
Yeah, I got it on. I'm watching it now. New
Yeah,
York, New
they're
York's not
getting
doing so well
spanked,
now.
though.
Yeah, they're
But
not. Definitely
it's
not
been
doing well.
it's been
But
pretty good though.
yeah,
Pretty
for
good.
sure, definitely has. I've enjoyed it, and you know what? The thing with that is like you never know, kind of what's gonna happen in every game. It's very unpredictable. With kids you're gonna get that. But it's I'm rooting for the New York. Not doing so well today, but they'll still be alive, so that's good.
Right. The only problem is though, I mean, they're gonna have to play tomorrow, and still don't have their stud pitcher can't pitch tomorrow. So
Really, he can't.
yeah,
They used him, huh?
yeah.
Maybe that was a mistake. They should have pitched him.
So
I guess.
if they lose tonight, they got to play Georgia, and that's the elimination game. So
Mm, okay, so they can't use him. These pitch count rules, like, I mean, I know they're put in to save the kids from themselves, obviously, in the arms, but it really kind of hamstrings the teams that maybe have one or two good pitchers, and they got to go to some unknown guy that may not be reliable in a game like that.
I know, but I don't disagree with it though. These
No, no,
kids
you have to have it.
they're 12 and 13. You can't burn these kids out, but yeah, these kids could probably do it, but I think it's the right thing to do. I do actually.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's very captivating. I always have it kind of flipping it on to see who's playing. The international teams, like those teams are strong 1 to 9 always, especially the Japanese team, the Mexican team. Like there's no breaks in the lineup with them. They really come to play, and you
Yep.
see like why baseball has such a strong international pipeline. Just watching how these kids they approach it like a job.
Yeah, I think who's left? Japan, South Korea,
Yeah.
and
I think Puerto Rico's in still.
Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's who's in.
Yeah,
Right.
so New York's gonna lose probably to Hawaii. I think it's like 7-0 now. But
Right.
yeah, they'll face Georgia tomorrow. So
No, but it's been pretty interesting. It always has. I actually watched something the other day about the guy on the Mets, Todd Frazier, was in the college Little League World Series, and
yeah, that's
so
very.
they did an interview with him and his teammates, and
I
it's
saw
kind of
that.
funny. Yeah,
I
it's
saw
pretty
that.
good.
I was on before football one of the nights. It's good. I'm pretty sick of hearing about Todd Frazier about that and all that Little League. They always bring it up with him and how he grew up in Tom's River. Like I know it, but I did like that. I remember watching that as a kid and just like falling in love with that team that won it. So it was good.
Right.
It
And he
was
was
very
he was a really good player. I told you he played for Rutgers the same time my nephew played for St. John. So I
yeah.
actually saw him play when he was at Rutgers. But I don't see, his days are numbered. I don't see his productivity at all anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he's more of an AL player. Like he might end up being a bench player soon. I don't see him being a starter. Definitely not.
No, those
But the Mets
days
paid
are.
him for 2 years, so he'll have those 2 years at least on the Mets.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I
He
know.
wasn't bad with the Yankees. He had a nice glove, which you appreciated, but he wasn't bad.
Yeah, but you can't hit 220 and be a starting position player in this game anymore. That's what's been driving me crazy about this Greg Bird. I know he's been hot, the past week or two, but
Not really, actually. He had the one big hit. I think I haven't seen much from him, and I just saw him strike out again.
yeah, he had a grand salami last week though. That was big.
That was big, but I mean, besides one swing of the bat, he's been out to lunch, and he blew that game against the Rays with the day game. I was actually at that game, and he came up and swung at the first pitch and popped it up. Like, come on! After the guy walked 2 guys in a row
I know.
to load the bases.
It drives me crazy to see. And the Yankees they've put, they got this kid Voit, whatever,
Yeah, he's
just in case. But I mean, Bird's he may not even be hitting 200 anymore.
he's for the last week he's hit 119.
Right.
So that's really bad, and I think he's hitting like 206 or something like that. It's nothing to write home
Yep.
about. And I'm
Right.
telling you, They have 9 days to still make a move for somebody that passed through waivers. I would not be surprised to see them come up with somebody because he can't be the first baseman. He can't be the first baseman in the
Not
playoffs.
at 200, he can't.
No,
That's for
and
sure.
I know he has a decent glove, but that's not enough. He can't play first base for them.
Yeah, that was so Chapman went down, and you know what I was thinking? Yes, this guy's a stud and so forth, but I saw an interesting stat. The ninth inning Yankee pitchers collectively have a lower ERA than Chapman does. So
Really?
they got a lot of bullpen stuff. I don't
Yeah.
think it's going to hurt him as much as people may think.
If there was really any, I mean, if there was any big name player they were gonna lose, he would probably be the one that they could afford the best.
Right.
They haven't really done well without Judge. They haven't done well without Sanchez. They haven't done well. I mean, Didi has been out a couple days, but he's, obviously a huge part of the team. But they have three other all-star closers in that bullpen. They have Betances, Britton, and Robertson all have closing experience. And I don't know who will close. I don't know who's actually going to be the closer for them, but that's at least the position they can make up for. And they should sit Chapman until he's 100%. Sit him until he's 100% because they're going to be the wild card. They know where they're going to be.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
and
wait it out. They're 10 games up out of the wild card. They're 10 games up. So
oh yeah, they're walking away with the wild card. But I mean, how hot is Oakland? I mean,
very hot. They lost today, but they're right there and with Houston. We might see Verlander first for the wild card game. We might see him. It's definitely a chance.
Yep. And I'll tell
Definitely.
you, Verlander just got his 200th victory this week too. So, I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, but
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, when you think about it, this guy's been lights out for what, at least 10 years in the major leagues.
Yeah, he had a little hiccup.
He just got his 200th win. So that means getting to 300 wins in the major leagues. It's a big deal. I mean, you could be Don Sutton and pitch 28 years in the league. Of course, you'll get 300 wins. But I was surprised. I probably would have thought he had more than that. Even Bartolo Colon, believe it or not, has 245.
Yeah, I think him and Cece are the active leaders right now.
Yeah, and Sabathia too. I've always loved Sabathia. I love his work ethic. He always wants the ball, and
yeah, and he's only at like 250, so he won't sniff. Even if he says he's gonna play one more year, he won't sniff 300. So
no,
I don't think you'll see anyone get it. I really don't think you'll see anyone get it ever again. It's a different game now.
I know, but I think Verlander probably has the best shot out of all those. He's not as
I guess.
He's a little bit younger. He's probably 33, maybe, but yeah.
I think he's older than that. I don't know. He has to stay at the top of his game for a long time too, though.
But
if he has one year where he gets like
top.
8 wins, if he has 1 year where he has like 8 wins, he won't get it.
Yep.
So he's got to stay at the top of his game. But he's a Hall of Famer for sure. I mean, there was years there was probably like a 3-year stretch where he was the best pitcher in baseball.
Right. He's got 2 no-hitters, probably 1 or 2 Cy Youngs too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, he's phenomenal. I don't want to see him in the
great.
wild card game.
This is great. We're coming down the stretch in the baseball, but I tell you, I start to worry though. I think Judge's injury may be worse than they let on in the beginning because he's not even swinging a bat yet.
Well, I think with that, they said 3 weeks right away, and that was, I think their problem there was getting everyone's hopes up that it was 3 weeks when, in reality, for that injury, it's always 4 to 6 weeks, and he's gonna take 6 weeks. They're saying, so we might not see him till mid-September.
Probably not, because like I said, he's not even swinging a bat right now.
I don't know what the deal was with that timeline, but they got everybody excited and everything, but we were not going to see him for a while. In mid-September, I'm saying, because he's got to do rehab game. First off, he has to swing a bat. Then he has to get his timing back, rehab games. Then he finally gets back. Just get him back for the wild card game. That's pretty much what it is.
And there's no question that, the Yankees, they're going to be the wild card, but they could win the game and move on, but I think he's the key. Way more than Sanchez, and De Gregorius is going to hurt if he's going to be out an extended period of time. But if Judge doesn't come back, I'm not
Yeah,
sure the Yankees can
that's a
go
huge
deep
loss.
into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a huge loss. Well, Sanchez, the thing with Sanchez is he wasn't really producing, but his replacement hasn't either. And you know that it's in there for him. You know that it's in there for Sanchez. Like it's inside him, and he has come up with some big plays, in the playoffs and everything. So I'll take my chances with that when if it's a choice between him and Romine. But Judge, I mean, they're playing Shane Robinson, and that can't happen for much longer.
No, that's going to hurt them if he doesn't come back. That's for sure.
They really can't. But
so down the stretch, this is the home stretch for baseball. 5 to 6 more weeks, right? Going into September.
The team that's hot right now is the Cardinals. The Cardinals have come out of nowhere. I know. Have you been paying attention to that? Like, Carpenter is on fire. All of a sudden he's a candidate for the MVP, hitting home runs every game. They fired the manager and they just brought up all these younger players and started playing all these younger players, and they just caught fire. And I think they're like 1.5 games out of the Central Division lead and their first wild card now. Yeah,
they were written off, and that's amazing comeback they've made.
They're definitely one of the hottest teams, but the NL is just nuts right now. The NL is just like, you don't know who's the best team. There's conceivably like chance for like an 8-way tie or something like that. Like, they're all these teams in the mix, so it's gonna come down the wire for that. While the AL,
the one team that's kind of gone cold was the Dodgers. I mean, I told you a few weeks ago they were running away with it.
Well, Machado hasn't hit since they spent all to get him, and he hasn't produced at all over there.
No, I think he's got 1 home run. But he's probably been there 3 weeks now.
Yeah, so. 20 games. 20 games, 1 homer. So that's not what they brought him there for.
Nope.
And they made some other moves. They got Dozier. I forget a couple other guys, but they just got their closer back, so that will help. But they were the odds-on favorite to come out, and they're still in the mix, obviously. But they need to pick it up. If they're gonna.
And don't write the Cubbies off. They're starting to get hot too, and they just got Murphy, and he wasn't hitting in Washington, but he lights it up in Wrigley Field.
Yeah, well, he was starting to pick it up actually in Washington. He was starting to pick it up a little bit, so he was starting to become the Murphy of old. But I mean, I was hoping the Yankees could find a way to get him. He would be just what the doctor ordered for us. A lefty hitter that could play first. He would be just what the doctor ordered for us, but he didn't make it.
I don't know what this guy Voit brings, but I guess Murphy, he gets hot and he can drive the ball. So
lefty hitter at Yankee Stadium. I mean, come on, he'd be perfect for us.
Yeah. Hey, if I was lefty, I'd be playing in Yankee Stadium right now.
There you go, man. It's easy. That's why they bring in lefty hitters to hit there. But so that that's one other thing I want to touch on. DeGrom has got to win the Cy Young.
I don't disagree with you at all, actually. Every time I've seen him pitch, nobody hits him. They just don't score runs. I mean, how could they with guys like Reyes hitting 200 and,
I don't know half the Mets' names anymore, like who's in the lineup and everything. I don't know it. But he doesn't get run support. He pitched a complete game shutout the other day. He's ridiculous. And if he doesn't win the Cy Young, then I don't know. Because you got to take wins out of the equation for him. You have to. Because
what has he got, like 8 wins or something?
I think he's like 7-7, which is the same record as Sonny Gray. So it's like,
I know.
Does that really? Yeah, is it really a viable stat? And it's really not.
No, I agree. And they always say, the MVP can't come from a losing team. But I remember Andre Dawson won the MVP with the Cubs when they finished in last.
Trout's won it.
And you're right. I agree with you. I think DeGrom has got to be the front runner for the Cy Young. Yeah. Nobody hits him. Nobody.
Yeah, and like I said, like Trout wins the MVP every year, and he had never won a playoff game. So you got to go with who's played the best. You got to reward that. So that's why I'm glad they don't take postseason into account at all.
Absolutely. That wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't be fair.
So football, winding down. Preseason finally about to get week 3 of the preseason started. So let's get through this week 3 game, no injuries. Put the backups out there week 4, and let's play ball because I'm ready to go.
I agree.
No Beckham on the field. I don't want to see any Beckham. No Barkley. Rest them for week 1. Eli maybe like 2, 3 series. I don't need to see the first team offense. Just maybe the offensive line, but don't. I'm telling you, just save it for week 1. I'm sick of seeing these preseason injuries. It's bitten every team. It's bitten every team in the butt. You've seen, how many guys go down. They need to just be safe, get through these 2 preseason games. Find your bottom of the roster guys. Get out of there with no injuries.
Yeah, they're not going to play. They're certainly not going to play Barkley against the Jets this week. So
no. I hope they don't play Odell either, because there's really no point to it.
Agreed. I agree with that.
Yeah, because if he's coming off an injury, why risk it for nothing? It doesn't mean anything. So, but a lot of good. This helmet rule is really making waves. I don't know. I'm sure you've seen this, but they just said they came out today and said they're not changing anything, and these calls are just ridiculous.
No, this is absolutely changing the game. There's no question about it.
Someone's gonna lose a game on that. I'm telling you, someone's gonna lose a game on that, and it's gonna be nuts.
Absolutely, and the league's gonna throw up their hands and saying, "Look, you guys were, you came down on us for not taking, this concussion stuff seriously." And I said, "Well, but you can't change the rules. I mean, these guys, you're right. Every game, and they're calling it, and somebody's gonna lose a very important game before it's all said and done."
Yeah, and that's what it's gonna come to. And I can't believe they don't see this. I can't believe they don't see this to just tell maybe even just privately tell the refs to, maybe they have, but privately, because I really don't know. But
oh no, I think the league is forcing the refs to make these calls so that it's good public relations for the league.
Are they forcing them to make the calls in the preseason though, or are they going to tell them in the regular season to dial it down?
I'm going to guess they'll dial it down a little bit, but you're right. It's gonna come up, and it's gonna cost a team a game, and possibly a playoff spot if it's late in the season.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I mean. God forbid it's my team, and I hate to see it. And if they're gonna do this where they're throwing people out of games for this, and assessing, there has to be challengeable. And I hate to say that because the game goes slow enough as it is with the replay, but these calls are huge calls in the moment. And it's a bang play, and the ref is not going to be able to tell. It has to be challengeable.
But then they're not going to make it challengeable. I think they're going to make it the ref's call, and it all depends on the angle that the ref is seeing it from. Because I get it, and they're trying to protect them. And like I said, the league is in damage control from their fiasco of burying this concussion stuff. Yeah. They have no choice.
Yeah, and it's terrible, but I'm telling you, it's just, I don't know. It just leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth, and I just, that's like the one thing that's drawing me back from being so excited about this season. Just like the fact that I know this is gonna rear its ugly head. I know it. We're not gonna get through a season.
Oh, no question about it.
And it ruins it. It ruins it for me a little bit, and I don't want to see that. And I know about the head injuries and everything, and that's serious, but this is not the way to go about it, in my opinion. Just not.
Yes. So there's like 2 stories I think that are coming into play with the these guys not reporting to camp. And I told you this Aaron Donald from the Rams, and I'm not so sure that's a make or break thing for the Rams. That's why they're saying we can get somebody in there. But I think this Khalil Mack who's holding out in Oakland.
Yeah.
That's a big loss, but Gruden, the Raiders they're not even talking. So I don't know how that's going to play out. And if Gruden says we can go without him, then they're going to go without him. And these guys are going to sit on the sidelines, and it's going to cost them. Does Mack deserve to be the highest paid linebacker in the league?
He's really good. He's really
I know, he's good.
He definitely deserves another contract. I think the Raiders are crazy because they don't have a pass rush besides him. He is their pass rush. And if he's out, they're not going to be in good shape on defense. I'm telling you, they're not.
I know, but Gruden must have told the front office, we got some players that we could fill that hole with. Because,
I think
like I said, you know,
I think they're banking on the fact that maybe he'll just say like, look, I can't miss games.
I
He'll
know,
say
but he's
that.
missed all the training
I'm
camp.
thankful. I'm thankful Odell showed up because that could have been us with that situation. It really could have. Bell hasn't shown up. Le'Veon Bell.
Yep, that's the other one, right?
Yeah,
You're right.
he's out of Pittsburgh after this year. They know it. Both sides know it. So this is it for him. Donald's really good. Donald is probably the best defensive player in the league, probably, and one of the best.
Really?
Yes.
I don't see
Yes,
that. I mean, we
he
don't
is.
see the Rams play a lot, but he's good. I get it.
I'm
But
telling
is
you,
he,
I'm telling you, he's that good. Look it up. Aaron Donald is there. Aaron Donald deserves to be the highest paid defensive player, but the Rams are stacked. They're stacked. They got Sue on the line. They got two new corners that are both Pro Bowlers. You know, their offense, we all know about their offense. They're stacked. The Rams aren't feeling the pressure to have him because they need him, but they don't need him. They can still win games without him. He'll
I
show
agree.
up.
I mean, Sean McVay, like I said, he's done an incredible job on in turning that team around. He really has.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's they really have turned around quickly. They really have, and I'm really anxious to see their offense because they have the makings of a really explosive offense with Gurley and the Cooks and the receivers they picked up. He's a great play caller. Goff has showed a lot of improvement, but he turned them around quick. But like I said with the holdouts, that's definitely a developing story. They're saying Mac might get traded, maybe. They're saying Green Bay was interested in trading for him. There's three really, really good players that are not going to be around maybe for the first game. So that's a big story for sure. It's a big story.
It is, and the other big story. We'll stay with football for a minute. Is this Urban Meyer thing? I mean, we talked about it before, and I like I said, I think his lack of judgment and his lack of forthrightness and coming clean that he knew or didn't know about it. I think they're going to have to let him go. I don't think Ohio State needs this publicity. I mean, if they let him go,
I don't know. I think he's staying. I think that if they were going to let him go, it would have happened because this story's been out there a while now.
And I know there's a couple schools of thought though. I mean, if they were going to keep him, they would have already made that announcement. But
yeah,
I mean, they're meeting today. It's probably going to come down in the next day or two, the decision. But I think from a public relations perspective, I don't know if they have much of a choice. I really don't.
That's always an issue with the PR. But I don't know. He's kind of had that reputation already, and you kind of know what you're getting into with him, as far as what he puts up with his players and his coaches and what doesn't. So maybe maybe he'll be able to get out of it. There's reports that maybe he did bring the situation to the higher ups, and the higher ups did nothing. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know the facts. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors. But I just have the feeling that if they were going to get rid of him, it's been a while now, and they didn't do it. So investigation has to have gone somewhere.
And there's like I said, I'm not totally disagreeing with you, but like one school of thought is the longer they debate this, that means somebody in that room is saying, he's got to go. He's got to go. No matter how good. And you can't deny his coaching abilities. I mean, he's phenomenal. He wins wherever he goes. But in today's day and age, with this domestic violence, there's no tolerance for it at all.
Yeah. I'll say this. Coaches have been let go for much less. Now, are they Urban Meyer level coaches? No. But, you remember Tressel got let go because of the tattoo thing. There's this situation in Maryland. This situation in Maryland's obviously completely different. But, coaches are let go for a variety of reasons. So I wouldn't be surprised. But now, are we talking Urban Meyer? It takes a lot to let him go. So we'll see what they find with the investigation.
I agree.
He seems to skate by. I don't know why, but he does.
But like I said, I mean, I know that's going to come down in the next day or two. It should be interesting.
Yeah.
They seem to really like this kid, Ryan Day, who's taking over. So we'll see. Like I told you, I wonder how it's going to affect the recruiting and the commitment that my buddy's son made and so forth. Did they make the commitment to Meyer or did they make it to Ohio State? Should be interesting to see.
See what because a lot of it's about the system and everything to fit their skill set. If Urban Meyer's main guy is going to come up and coach, the system stays the same. A lot of guys may, decide to stay. But, there's a variety of reasons that, promises made and things like that, when coaches get fired, it happens all the time. And it's the story that doesn't get told a lot. When coaches skip out, instead of, maybe a coach doesn't get fired, but a coach leaves for greener pastures, gets a better job. These kids are stuck with a new coach that comes in and might run a completely different system or doesn't like them for some reason or wants to bring his own guys in. And these kids' college careers get wasted. And it's a story that doesn't get told a lot. So you're right, it is interesting. And, I hope to God these kids have the chance to get out of their commitment if they want or are able to transfer some kids that are there without penalty. It should be.
Yeah, most of these kids, they can walk away. These are pretty much verbal commitments at this point in time, especially if you're just a high school junior.
Yeah, but what about a kid that's on for his first year this year? That's really what I'm thinking about. Like a kid that's he's just coming in as a freshman, and then it's the same group of coaches and things like that. But things happen next year when they hire somebody else, it might turn on their head. It might turn on its head, and then they have then the whole the whole set of emotions goes into play. So I don't know.
Yeah. So listen. College football starts next week. I love that just as much, if not more, than the NFL anyway. So
I'm a big fan of both. I'm just a big fan of football. So let's get it going.
Yep. Hey, so let's just touch base real quick on we got the Ryder Cup team selections coming up pretty shortly, right? Furyk the captain this time around.
Yeah, they have the 8. I guess they have the 8 automatics that are in now.
Right, but I think there's not going to be any question.
Tiger's in.
Tiger's going to be in, yeah.
He's in if he's healthy. I think Phil will be in.
I don't think so. I'm going to say Mickelson does not make that Ryder Cup team.
Wow, I don't know, man. I don't know.
He hasn't played well all year long. He hasn't been in the mix in anything.
He won one tournament, but besides that, he hasn't been in the mix.
No.
I don't know. He'll make his way in. It's Phil. He'll be in. I don't know. I just...
What is there, 4 at-large?
Yeah, and I was reading the list of, like, the candidates pretty much that are up for debate. So they had a lock, they had almost locks, and then they had, like, the younger guys, and they had veterans. So the lock was Tiger. Almost lock was Phil. And then they had the younger players like DeChambeau. Trying to think who else was on that list.
Well, I think one of the surprise captain's picks, because the guy's played well all year. Yeah, he hasn't done much in the previous years since he won the major. Is Webb Simpson? I'm going to go out.
He made it automatically.
Did he?
That's how he's in. He snuck in over Tiger. And they said if Tiger, I think there was like a couple holes that if Tiger had played a little better in certain tournaments, he would have been the automatic pick. But Webb Simpson got in, and he won the Players.
Good. He's been proving himself. He's done very well.
Yeah. So he's in, but it was like DeChambeau, Schauffele, Tony Finau, and then there was like the veterans like Kuchar, Snedeker, like those type of guys. So I feel like he'll take one. He'll take Tiger, Phil, one younger guy, one older guy. I think that's how it'll be.
All right. I'm gonna say that Phil does not make that team.
All right. This is being recorded, so remember this now. Phil's Phil, you're leaving Phil off your Ryder Cup team. So that's it.
All right.
He's off.
Well, we'll talk about it next week. I think they're gonna make the picks next week, actually.
Yeah. I think it is either this week or next week. So soon.
Yeah.
But all right. So you want to give a shout out to anybody, the sponsors?
Well, like I said, stay with us. The Harley Davidson of Utica and Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut. They're waiting for your calls. So
yes.
Look, a real quick thing. Saratoga meet's wrapping up. Travers coming up this weekend. Um, and I saw that Good Magic, rightfully so, is the favorite to win it.
Yeah.
I was up there over the weekend, and I tell you, it is such a spectacularly beautiful place. It's great, and there was talk about they were going to extend the meet from 6 to 8 weeks, but I don't know if that there's credibility to that. That was just some rumors, but
Yeah.
I don't think that's substantiated or not. You know?
Yeah, I heard the same thing actually, and I'm not as in tune to it as you, but I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, not to be, I don't think. But
But
yeah,
I talked to some really knowledgeable horse guys, and I just don't think it's going to play out. I mean, what makes it so interesting? It's such a a 6 week short thing. You would have to dilute those 6 weeks with an extra 2 weeks. Would it generate additional revenue? Certainly.
Yeah.
But this is what makes Saratoga so unique.
It's
They
only
got a lot
certain
of
amount
big
time.
races, the Jim Dandy and so forth, and the Travers. So I'm going to tell you here for the Travers. I know Good Magic, and he should win. I think he's going to have to battle. I like Tenfold. He was in a couple of the Triple
Tenfold.
Crown races and showed up, and he's a good horse too. So I think it's a 2-horse race for those guys.
All right, so Tenfold. That's your official pick then.
I'm saying I think he's the only one that could beat Good Magic. That's
Okay.
all.
I'll take that.
All
I'll
right.
take that. All right. All right. Take that down. Take notes for when you're placing your bets. So that's good.
Yeah.
I'll throw a few shekels on there. A few shekels.
It's worth it. Yeah, you can go that night. You can go to the Meadowlands and just
Yes. I
put it
still have to
down.
go there. I want to give my review, so I'm gonna go there soon. I'm
yeah.
gonna give my review on that place. But yep. So that's good. Definitely touch on that. That's it for me on my end.
All right.
Big
We're
week
in
ahead.
good shape.
This time next week we're gonna be gearing up for college football. It's starting, and then NFL week after. So we're getting to that time of year where it's very busy. Pennant
Right.
race.
And don't forget the tennis. The U.S. Open's
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And
Oh yeah, that's next week too. It's starting.
Yep.
So that's always huge. One of these years I gotta make it out for that. I don't know when I will, but maybe this year I gotta make it out to that. So we'll
I
see.
never have either actually, but I follow it very
It's a hassle
closely.
to get there. It's a hassle to get to Citi Field.
I know it is. Trust me, I know it is.
For those that don't
I
know,
had to-
it's right next to Citi Field.
I
And
know.
it's a hassle to get there. So we'll see. We'll see.
But look, there's a lot coming up, and we look forward to you guys tuning in next week because there'll be a lot of new developments. There'll be a lot of cuts. Jets will probably unload Bridgewater
Yeah.
in between now and then, which may not, like I said, he seems to have recovered. He seems good, and I think they're committed to going with Darnold. So
I would like to see the Giants look at him. If Eli falters, I would really look at him.
yeah, I think they would be
Not now.
in trouble with Webb. He's not impressing me at all, and I'm
Yeah. And the rookie's
We'll see.
too raw.
yep.
He's too raw. So if Eli doesn't play well, or next year this is it for him. Next year, Bridgewater's a free agent. I'm looking at him, and he's a franchise quarterback, and he's proven it. So
Yes, he has.
I got my eye on him, for the future.
But I think the Jets are going to have to unload him because they're not going
Yeah.
to carry 3 of these guys, and he's got value. So
Oh yeah,
we'll see.
They could get like a second or third round pick for him. They got to see injuries and things like that happen, so they can definitely make a nice move for that.
There's a lot going on, so we got a lot to talk about, and we look forward to you guys staying with us. And like I said, please send us some emails because we'd love to mention you on the air
Yes.
and address your questions. So
For sure, definitely reach out. JimandDougShow@gmail.com.
Yep.
Yep, that's it for me.
all right, guys, thanks for joining us, and Dougie, I'll see you soon, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Be good.